was extremely impressed when I met you in this camp in Germany. I found out that you're very honest and you have a lot to share to our community. Can you please explain to me or help me understand how your upbringing was? Where did you grow up? Where were you born?
I was born in Asmara,
Okay.
so in Eritrea. But I came with the age of 6 to Germany, and I grew up in Germany.
And how was your German experience when you were in Germany? Did you have a great life?
Not always. It's being in the 90s to come to Germany. It's was a kind of resistment, kind of okay life until I got to the point where it got damaged.
It get damaged.
In 2007, I met my ex-husband.
Okay.
We were on a German Boy Scout, Girl Scout camp. That's where we met.
Okay.
So we became friends, get into a relationship very quickly and being together like until we get married in 2013, 7 years. So 2007 we met, 2009 he had an accident because he was a German parachuter. So he was working for the German army and he got a huge accident on parachuting. So he was like almost 4 or 5 months in the hospital and I was carrying a lot at that time. I was studying at that time. My work, I was working full time and studying at the same time, where we had like a kind of fundamental starting and then the house was built until we got married 2013. So 2012 I had like a breakdown, like I was going to the doctor and because I had like back problems in the middle part of my back and I didn't get a brief. I could not breathe. He was like, okay, take a seat and I will come. And then I was want to drink something in my bag. It was a water bottle. And so I walked, and as soon as I take the water out to drink, I fall down. He called the ambulance, and I went to the hospital. And then the guy in the hospital, the professor, was asking me, like, after they did all the kinds of checks, what are your projects, work, family stress, what is it? And I counted up to 12 stuffs at that time. So I was like full-time working. I was studying at the weekends during the week. I was covering family parts. I was trying to get my relationship fixed because I was ready like to get married. I was working at a big IT company and I was changing positions at that time. I was coming from sales out to controlling. Usually you have like 40-hour work contract. I worked up to 80 hours a week. Of course, it's also kind of my fault because I was not able to say no. If somebody asked me, I was like doing it. And that was one of the words of my ex-husband, that he was always complaining, you cared about all others, but not yourself. So you have to learn to say no. And I said, yes, but, yes, but, yes, but. And so he was like getting tired of this. He wants to protect me for myself. But at that time, it makes me angry because why cannot he be just on my side and supporting me? And that was a kind of where my professor says, do you know that the name burnout and depression? And I said, yes, but this is not what I have. I was not imagined that this, what I experienced at that time, was a depression. On the weekend, my ex-husband came. We talked about it and he said, yeah, but no, I don't think that you need professional help. Because he also didn't not experience stuff like that. So what I did in 2012 is like I didn't start on getting a therapy, getting medication and everything to get out of this stress. So I stay on that level. And then we were like in September 2012, he promised to me, so we get engaged, and we agreed that we get married 1 year later.
Whoa. So you got married in 13?
Yes.
Okay. How was married life?
Married life was difficult because I was only real married, like staying together for 3 months. Divorced after 1 year and 2 months. So when you got married on German law, after you break up and after you decide you want to get divorced, you have to stay 12 months separated from each other. But that the government says like you stay 12 months separated from each other, but you should see each other, talk to each other. Maybe it's a comeback. We get on a fight.
Okay.
In that honeymoon. So the honeymoon was not a real honeymoon for me. When we came back on the airport from Philadelphia, we had an 8-hour flight, and I was sleeping in the flight. So all my feet, all my legs were numb, and I was gone. Like physically, I was like sleeping so deep that he was not able to wake me up by shaking my arm.
Okay.
Because in Frankfurt, when the airline landed, he was like, "Saba, wake up, we are landing," and I was not hearing it. And he was shaking half an hour. He was really angry because all the board was
Everybody was aboard.
From the airplane crew was coming to clean up and everything, and I was still sleeping. And as I wake up, I could not move because everything was numb. So somehow I made it out of the plane after a while, and out of the duty-free shop I fall down again, and they called the ambulance, and they bring me to the airport hospital. They checked everything physically was fine, but mentally was not fine. And the doctor also said, okay, you can go home now, but you should see your doctor, because I told him I was on depression leave before the wedding, and he said, yeah, maybe it's another depression phase, so you should take care of it.
Were you taking medication at this time for depression? No. Okay.
We came back home to our home, and I went to my doctor the next day, and she was like, you are going to the hospital right now. So pack your stuff, on Thursday you will be in the hospital. And at that time I was already completely crazy, because depression, I was smoking, I was drinking drugs and everything. So I was not myself, I could say that.
The cigarettes, the drugs, the alcohol, how did it start?
Smoking started at the beginning. I was 11 years old.
At 11. What age were you when you started smoking more?
14, 15.
14, 15.
Yeah, where I could say that I buy my own cigarettes.
And how about drinking?
Drinking started with the age of 15. Also with the school friends. It sounds maybe like school friends are bringing you to bad things, but we were really close friends, so we all try out life.
But if you had a chance to start over, what would you have done? What would you have done? What would you have stopped?
I probably have stopped on the day I was playing soccer for a long time as a sport, and one of my coaches, when he saw my ex-husband, he was telling me, because he know also I was hanging out with people before and so on, and he was like, this is not your man.
When he saw it?
Yeah, the first time. Because we are really opposite personalities. The second sign was when we were fighting too much. So I could say that a lot of ups and deep downs in the relationship could have shown me to stop the relationship. Because a big part of what was damaging me was the relationship. Would not have done smoking weed again. I was stuck in the tunnel in 2015 when I was in the hospital again, on the depression, on drugs and everything. I fight it with a lot with my family, with my friends. I almost lost my job, my house and everything, my cars. And so I was like really deep in a tunnel, you know. And at that time I find like who helped me out there at that time, and it was Jesus. I want to get off, and I was like praying because I was a believer before that as well, but not a strong believer. It was like I know like there's the Holy Spirit, there's God, there's Jesus. He died for us on the cross and everything. I know all these stories because I grew up by Christians and being Christian, and I tried by myself by using drugs, drinking alcohol, going on party and everything. I tried to close the door and being at home and try everything what I could do. I tried. I even tried to kill myself, like. But all this, there was somebody is like, yeah, taking care of me, and I think, and I still believe it was Lord, the Lord who says no, I don't want you to die. So even if. Yeah, I even said to him, like, take me, I don't want to be on this earth. I failed. That was my feeling for a long, long time. And, but there was always like, yeah, there was always sounds in my ears saying, no, you didn't fail. And there were always like good people around me also, like, who were telling me like, no, you did well, and we are proud of you, and we are helping you, and so on. So I always had like a helping hand next to each other, next to me, but not want to grab this hand.